Okay, and we're back, and we start off another month, the first Monday of the month of October, year 2010. 2 months to go, and we're into 2011, and then watch the 2012 hype begin in earnest. We have spent years on the issue of depleted uranium. I'm not sure that we have made much progress with regards to the majority of Americans. We have certainly talked to you folks, and you folks have talked to friends of yours, and we put enough up on the internet, certainly to fill a number of books. It is an issue that is beyond description in its tragic nature. It is something that is never going to stop killing living beings on this planet, not just humans. People think, oh, it kills people. No, it kills everything. It's radioactive, depleted uranium. What a misnomer, depleted. There's nothing depleted about it at all. It's a killer. It'll keep on killing for over 4 billion years. With us tonight to talk about a superb article and an incredibly important one is author Bob Nichols, who's been on the program a number of times. He's written an article, it appeared in Veterans Today, about depleted uranium and what it does to the brain. Now, it's geared toward American combat personnel, but it needs to be, of course, understood, and Bob understands this. It applies universally to all living things that breathe, and breathe it in, or somehow ingest it. This issue is called, in the title, in the Veterans Today article, GIs Brain Fried by Military Dispensed Nose Candy. It's really a great title. Author Bob Nichols is standing by. Are you there, Bob?
Right here, Jeff. Glad to be on the air.
Thank you, sir. Glad you're here. It's hard to believe when the U.S. military discovered, as it were, depleted uranium in 1943, it could have been used in Europe and essentially destroyed Europe the same way we've done to Iraq and Afghanistan, and Europe would be today filled with dying people of cancer, birth defects through the roof, and all the rest of it. They didn't use it. But along came the Iraq War, the first so-called Gulf War, and Bush 41, and the use of depleted uranium at that time began in earnest. We haven't stopped. It continues. This is a story that is so well laid out in this particular article, I would urge all of you to please read it, and please pass it around to anyone you are able to. If we don't do it, no one's going to. You're not going to find this on NBC, CBS, or any of the other garbage dumps. It won't happen. Bob, tell us about this article, if you would.
Jeff, I'd love to, and I know it's terrible to be so excited about something that really kind of is awful, but everybody out there who's listening and yourself, if you have a calculator with you or nearby, get it, and I'll show you something really cool.
Okay.
This makes it like it has been for 100 years.
I'm getting mine out right now. All right, it's on the desk and fired up. Go ahead.
All right, and now the way that Jeff, I'm just so excited about this because it makes it to where it's something that relates to the ordinary, everyday grunt out there in the field or in the occupied countries,
right, exactly.
In America, in wherever it may be.
Uh-huh.
And even us too here in the United States, because
they are measuring DU here in the States, and they're measuring it all over the world now.
Oh yeah, it's all over the world by now. But here's what you do: the common measure of this stuff is a little unit, and like all weapons, it's just one weapon. We're talking about one weapon here, and this weapon puts out 1,251,000 bullets a day. So,
wait a minute. Now, I don't want anybody to think that you misspoke. This little weapon that goes into your body, folks, your brain, for example, puts out 1.2 million bullets a day that it shoots into your body's cells and bones and vital organs and your brain. Go ahead.
And your brain. And so here's the exciting part. Enter 1251000 in your calculator.
1.
So you should have now 1, a comma, a 251, comma, 000.
Got it. That's per day. Everybody. That's per day, folks.
That's per day. But we're not interested in the per day at all. Let's go to divide it by 60. Let's take that back.
You back up? All right, let me back up. We'll put it back in again. 1
and divide 1,251,000 by 24.
1,051,000 by 24. Got it? Okay.
Now that's how many you get per hour.
52,125.
Now here comes the magic. Divide that by 60.
16?
60. 60.
Got it?
60.
Got it? 868.75.
That's what you get. And that's the magic of it for 100 years now. Jeff, 100 years. Ever since the first dude invented a machine gun, a gas-operated machine gun fires between 800 and 900 rounds a minute. Has for decades, for 100 years. It never changes. It's between 800 and 900 rounds a minute, and every soldier in the world, every American vet, every soldier, every general in the Pentagon, every politician, and all of us people can understand 850. What'd you say? What was it?
868.
868 rounds per minute. The magic is, it never runs out of bullets, and it never jams, guys. It doesn't jam. It doesn't run out of bullets. It goes forever. And this little bitty thingy, a weapon, this automatic weapon, this radioactive automatic weapon, goes trotting right up your smelling nerves to your brain. It just flies right in there. The thing actually moves on your nerve, the
Good.
Nerves. That's the picture of it in the article at Veterans Today.
When I saw that and the way you presented it, I immediately got in touch with you. By the way, Bob Nichols is a Project Censored Award winner, one of our finest journalists, and a correspondent for the San Francisco Bay View newspaper. He is a great American, as most of you folks certainly are, and then some. This issue of depleted uranium that Bob has just described is something that takes a second to inhale. It goes into your nose. You can see the cutaway drawing. It goes right into the olfactory nerve, the tract, and it goes directly to the cerebral cortex of your brain. These little depleted uranium units, these little machine guns that never jam, capital N, never stop, 4 billion years they'll be firing, 868 bullets a minute into your brain, into the tissues surrounding the little machine gun, wherever it happens to be in your body. And what happens to those tissues over time, to those cells? Let's talk a little bit more about how prevalent these depleted uranium machine guns are in Iraq, in Afghanistan, and ultimately, according to the work of Dr. Chris Busby, who found it off the chart in England, folks, in England, when we were bathing Iraqis with it, how it is around the world. We'll do that with Bob in just a minute. 800, imagine, okay, you've got a tiny, tiny, tiny piece of active uranium, depleted, BS, uranium. You breathe it in a dust storm or anywhere, you just breathe it. It goes into your nose, right into your cerebral cortex, and begins doing what it does. It fires 868 bullets or rounds per minute forever. Can you reach up in there with tweezers and pull it out? No chance. Can they remove it surgically? No chance. Once it's in there, it's there. Are you beginning to get the picture now of what depleted uranium does? We have a lot to talk about with Bob as we continue. All right, back with Bob Nichols talking about depleted uranium, DU. This little tiny amount, it's so small, 1 milligram, that's all it is. Imagine it to be a machine gun firing 1.2 million bullets a day forever, wherever it lodges in your body. And it just loves to go up your nose and into your brain, okay? That's one of the most obvious. It can certainly go into your lungs, that's easy. They used to call these, I guess, alpha particles. I'm not sure if a milligram is an alpha particle. I think it's more than an alpha particle. But at any rate, this is the issue. What's the distance or the range that this little machine gun can fire 1.2 million atomic or radioactive bullets a day into your cells?
That's a really good question, Jeff, and it's one that everybody who's ever fired a machine gun is thinking right now. How far do these things go? Well, they've had a really stout range on them. These things are powerful little fellas. And you ever get a finger stick from a doctor or somebody like that? You know, your blood comes out, or if you've been shot, your blood comes out.
Right.
But we have all seen one way or another blood coming out of our bodies, and our blood is made up of cells.
Right.
And our brains are made up of cells, and they're so small we can't see them. You know, they use microscopes to look at these things. But sometimes really big and powerful microscopes called electron microscopes. But these cells, we can measure the range of the submachine gun in cells. And these bullets shoot a range of about 20 cells. Now, this range is 360 degrees by 360. It's in every single direction. 868 times.